What is up, players? It's your boy Herculos here. Got a post gym video for you. The smoothie place has not yet opened, so I'm waiting for it to open. So this morning, man, I've just been thinking, of course, about the kratom addiction, quitting kratom and recovery and all that. That's one of the main points of this channel, is to keep myself accountable and to help everybody else get off of the poisons in their life. To inspire and motivate both myself and everybody else. So, but I'm going to cut to the chase. So, Herculos, man. My dad used to call himself that. And I just, because my dad's name is Carlos, right? And I'm named after him. And just got me thinking about Hercules and the 12 labors that Hercules needed to complete in order to ascend to godhood. And one of those 12 labors was he had to defeat the Hydra. The Hydra was a serpent beast, and every time you cut off one head, two more heads appeared. And to me, what is a more perfect metaphor for my struggles with addiction than that? It's like, as a kid, smoking weed, cut off the head of that addiction, and then kratom addiction pops up. Video games, cut off the head of that addiction, porn addiction. What else? Social media addiction, fast food addiction, all that stuff. And, I think a lot of young men struggle with this Hydra, this multi-headed beast that they can't just seem to, they cut off one head, they feel powerful, and then 7 more heads pop up, and it's like they're overwhelmed. And my buddy Dave gave me some really good insight, and he was like, you can't focus your energy on cutting off each head. You got to go straight for the heart. And man, isn't that where most answers are found? Isn't that where pain is kept? And pain and trauma are a big thing that leads to addiction, is within the heart. You're not always going to be able to find answers in the outside world. You can find insight. You can ask people for advice. You can watch other people, see what they do. But it's never going to be exactly the same as your story, as your heart. So looking inside and digging deep as to how did I end up here with these addictions, because there are different types of addicts. I'm going to talk about that in a second. There are the addicts like me who constantly, I've been brought up in a world where I constantly need stimulation, or I've been led to believe that I constantly need stimulation. I'm rewriting that because I'm realizing that's not the case. And so you constantly need stimulation. You constantly need something like a dopamine hit. If you're not getting hooked on McDonald's and kratom and cocaine, opiates, all that stuff, Xanax, all that stuff that I've struggled with, it's something else. It's video games, it's comic books, it's, the gym, and addictions. So there are healthy addictions, there are definitely healthy addictions that I encourage you to get hooked on, like the gym, like cold showers, reading your Bible, just reading in general, things like that, eating healthy. But yeah, man, so you're constantly led to believe that, oh yeah, there's 2 different types of addicts. And then there's also the physical addict, somebody who's just made a few mistakes in their life and they ended up hooked on a physically addictive drug. And I'm going to get to another point in a second, but so there's the mental addicts and there's the physical addicts, right? And with quitting kratom, basically you're coming off something that feels like cocaine and an opiate at the same time. So you're going to go through physical withdrawals, right? You're physically addicted to that substance. And physical addiction, that is a war within your body. That is you versus your mind, and your body is the battleground. You're going through the cold sweats. You can't get any sleep. You've got insomnia for weeks. You can't eat anything. You're crazy anxious. And, you know, the battle is taking place within your brain and in your body. Now, mental addiction, what I've been thinking about is something almost, it's such a paradox in a way, because it's almost easier, but then at the same time it has more tricks up its sleeve. You know, the antagonist that you're facing against, it's yourself. You know, it's picture your shadow self, your doppelganger dark self in the mirror, and he or she just wants to jam you up, you know. So, but something that clicked, man, is these mental addictions like social media or video games or pornography. There is such a, and I woke up with strength today. You know, you never know what the next day is where it's gonna lead you, how you're gonna feel. So that's what inspired this. But those mental addictions like social media, video games, binge watching Netflix, it's such a learned victim mindset. It's basically what you're telling yourself is, I'm powerless to this thing, this social media. I'm powerless to it. So, or I'm powerless to porn or video games or McDonald's. And it's like, if you can get the discipline to go to the gym, to take a cold shower, to study, to read, if you can go through the hell of physical withdrawals, and you're telling me that you can't put Instagram down, that's also what inspired this. I'm done with Instagram. I've deleted it. I'm not going to waste my life away sucked to a screen. This is how you see the world when you're looking at fucking Instagram, dude. And it's all illusions. You know, you think you're interacting with people. I mean, you are interacting with people, but that's not the real them. It's not the 3D version of them. It's the 2D version of them. You're both shadows. You're both illusions throwing, you know, shapes at each other. What you perceive is going to be taken the best, or, you know, the invisible crowd and all that. But, yeah, these mental addictions, man, you just kind of need to, I don't know, dig deep and gather the strength. And strength is found through discipline, through pain, and not the emo type of pain, but the pain of discipline, the pain of, all right, here's this freezing cold shower. I know I don't want to do it, but you know what? I'm in control of my mind. So let's step into this freezing cold shower and let's stay in it for 5 minutes, whatever. That type of discipline builds and builds and builds in your brain, whereas it swings the opposite way too. If you every single day I'm powerless to this thing, I'm just going to give it what it, you know, give myself to it, give my soul, my life energy, my drive to this thing that I'm so powerless to. That voice gets louder too. And then you wake up when you're 50 and you're hopeless, addicted, and it's a really sad thing to think about. And I've just, it's not going to be me. I've decided it. 32 years old, not a, you know, dumb, naive kid anymore. I'm sure I still have a lot to learn, but I have insight. I have scars that have taught me things. And I am no longer going to be a profit margin for these companies that profit off of my suffering. McDonald's profits off of your fucking health being destroyed. Cigarette companies profit off of cancer, all that stuff. You know, like these kratom companies, EDP, MIT 45, The high extract kratom companies, they do not give a shit about you, man. They're selling dope. They're selling gas station heroin, and they're putting it under the guise as it's medicine. Oh, it's medicine. And I just picture like the shady like plague doctor, like, yeah, bro, it's medicine. Like, just try it out, and then immediately get hooked on it, you know? But yeah, this kind of went off on a tangent a little bit, but just want you guys to know, the world tries to make you think that you're powerless, and I almost believed it. It tries to make you think that you're powerless, but you're not. You have a body that you can move things with, that you can run and jump and make things with your hands. You have a brain that you can think things into existence and create and form new bonds with people. You have a face, you can form new bonds with people, friendships, all that stuff. Do not let these huge companies that profit off of your suffering and addiction hollow you out and turn you into just another number. Because you can be so much more than that. You can be so much more than that. But yeah, God bless you guys. Thank you for watching. I think this channel's turning a new leaf. I'll have some new videos coming for you soon. Thanks.